Hello boat builders. Today we're going to work on a project that I've been working on for a while, and that's to get the porpoising out of the zip. At about 25 miles an hour, it'll start to want to leap out of the water. And to correct this, I've installed this Stingray hydrofoil, which you can trim the nose of the boat down, but I'm thinking that it's causing more drag than it's worth. It does stop the porpoising, but I'm just not getting the performance I want. I really want to see if I can get an additional 4 miles an hour out of the zip. So I've been working on these cavitation plates. I had a local sheet metal shop fabricate these plates for me, and we're going to install them to the transom with some stainless steel bolts and some turnbuckles, and we're going to walk you through this. And we're going to Tuesday we're going to go to the Colorado River near Parker, Arizona, and we're going to put the zip in the water, and we're going to do some time trials, and we're going to run it with the fin, and we're going to remove it. We're going to adjust our trim tabs and see if we can get our 4 miles an hour. Like I said earlier, I've been wanting to install these for some time. When we first launched the zip, and we were pretty happy with the performance. You know, we got up to about 25 miles an hour. Everything was doing great. And when we'd go for the other quarter of the throttle, she'd start porpoising, and our top speed, you know, we could really never tell because it was leaping out of the water. So we ended up putting on the Stingray hydrofoil, which definitely corrected the porpoising, but we could still only get 28 miles an hour max with the 2 adults. And I think we could do better. So I've decided to install these cavitation plates. From the beginning, my original idea when it was porpoising to put cavitation plates on, I grew up around a high performance inboards, doing boat interiors back in the 70s for Interiors by Jack and Bellflower. An awesome job, thanks to my Uncle Kenny and Jack McNeil for hiring me. But so that was my initial thought. But when I investigated the cost of the marine hardware to install them, actually just the turnbuckles and the eyes alone would be almost $400. So I thought no. And then I would still have to come up with a plate itself. Usually on a high performance boat, they use a 1/4 inch aluminum plate that's anodized normally, and it mounts through the bottom of the boat. They have it rabbited into the bottom, and it's usually adjustable as well. These are going to be fixed. So anyway, let's get to the point here. So I decided, I did some investigating. I could have bought a Bennett spring-loaded trim tab for around $100, which probably would have worked really nice, but they're just really aesthetically, they don't fit the boat, and it's just not what I wanted. I'm sure that they work great, but I think this is going to be more efficient and definitely look a lot nicer. So anyway, I bought these online from a e-rigging, and these turnbuckles, they're 316 stainless steel. What are they? They adjust from 6.5 to like 8 3/4, 9 inches or something. And they're not exactly what you see on your typical flat bottom, but they're 5/16 bolt thread, which is a light duty. Usually, you know, they go from 5/16 to 1/2 inch on the marine turnbuckles. But anyway, I got these for $10 a piece. They're really, really nice. I'm surprised. The eyelets, I bought from a gas shock, spring shock company for $5.33. They're also stainless steel. They're only 304 grade, but this boat's not in the salt water much anyway, and when it is, it comes out that day. Then I bought the aluminum anodized washers. These are like what they call stringer washers, and these are $1.50 a piece or something. So we're going to put these together, and then I've also got the stainless steel bolts I picked up this morning from a local supplier, Hilco, which is a real nice company in Garden Grove. The cavitation plates themselves, I had a sheet metal shop fabricate for me. They're 14 inches by 6 3/4, and then I had them bend a 102-degree bend, which makes the 12-degree transom, so it'll be parallel with the bottom when it's mounted flush to the transom. Hey there, this is something I really didn't want to get myself into, but like I said, when they broke the 12-degree angle on the plate here, they scratched it up pretty good. We're really not looking for a mirror finish, but I'd like to at least get rid of the scratches here. I think I'm opening a can of worms. I'm going to start out with what I have on hand. I'm going to start out with a little 180 on my dual action sander. Okay, using what I have on hand, I had the 180 pad for my dual action sander. Now I'm going to go with just some 220 by hand. I hit it by hand with the 220 and I wiped it off. I'm going to go with the hook and loop 320 on my DA. I've taken it down with the 320 on the DA, and I kind of like the finish. I may stop here. No, I'm not. I'm going to go a little further. So I hand sanded it with the 320. I like the finish. I don't really want it bright, shiny mirror finish, so this is a nice matte finish. I'm just going to use a little WD-40, I think, to do some wet sanding. I got some sanding pads that I use for the plastic acrylic countertops to buff them out, and I got the green one on here first. So I'm going with the Corian polishing pads for the DA. I got the blue one. I think this is a little finer than the green one. I'm not quite sure, but this is what I'm going to end up with. This will be my final sand. Well, this is what I'm going to stop at here. Got rid of the major scratches. It's definitely not a mirror finish, but it's nice. It's consistent and clean. So I think it'll look nice. The turnbuckles are a little brighter, but the anodized aluminum, I think it looks suede on it. We're going to go with it. I'm going to lay out the holes for the back tab here that attaches to the cavitation plate that's been on a 12-degree angle. I'm going to drill through the back side because I can't get in through the front, obviously, and I can't put it in a drill press, so I'm going to do this by hand. So I was contemplating, I have an 1 3/4 flange here, and I was thinking maybe I want to fake it towards the top so I get more wood bearing, but I think I'm going to go right down the center, 7/8 of an inch, the center of the tab. I have my combination square set here. Just going to draw a line at 7/8, and then I'm going to come in 1 inch on each side. 1, 13. And I'm going to go 3 inches between. I'm going to have 4 bolts, 3 inches in between. So I'm going to go 3 inches. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7. That's half of our 14 to 10 to 13. I don't have a very good punch, so I'm just going to use this nail set I have here. I'm just going with an 1/8 inch pilot hole. I don't know what the correct pilot hole size is, but it seems to be working dandy. And then with the 1/4 inch bit, butter. I think that should definitely hold it. Now it's decision time on where to drill the holes for the turnbuckles through the bottom of the plate. We got number 10 or metric M10 flathead bolts that go through there, and then I have the turnbuckles which mount to the transom and through the plate itself. So I don't want to be too close to the end, obviously, here, so I think I'm going to come in. Now I need to figure out how far out I should be. So this to the transom, that's still pretty vertical. I'm going to come out there about like that. So hey, boat builders, I came up with 1 inch in, 2 1/4 by 1 inch is what I laid it out at to drill my holes for the 10 millimeter flathead screws that are going to go through the cavitation plate into the eye. I'm going to drill a pilot hole. So I measured the head of the bolt, and it's 0.777. So, and the countersink's diameter is 0.75. So I could go all the way through with this, and this isn't going to ever seat. So I'm going to go as far as I can. I'm going to go right to 0.75 on this bit. Where it stops cutting, I'm going to stop. So it's still tapered, and then I'm going to grind the top of this bolt off. Back at it here on Saturday, day 2 of fabricating our cavitation plates and installing them. I've countersunk the holes for the 10 millimeter flathead screws as deep as I could go, the full width of the countersink I have, which is 0.75, and the bolt itself is 0.77. So it sticks up a little bit right now, but I'm grinding off the top of the head. I'm going to get it pretty darn close, I think, and still have enough bite on my Allen head to work properly. Countersink the bottom of our stringer washer here, because we only have an 1/8 inch plate, and it's looks to be, I don't know, 3/16, so we need to go into this washer with our countersink some. I started to do one here. I started on this one here, and let's check it out and see how it looks. Okay, let's see. We put it all together here, put our flathead through our countersunk hole, and then our washer, our stringer washer, it's a billet 1/4 inch by 1 3/8 aluminum anodized washer that I'm putting on top here, and it looks like it seats properly. Should tighten up correctly. So I've decided that I'm going to put the trim tabs almost out to the end of the chine. I'm going to come in 3/8 of an inch from the chine and naturally flush with the bottom here. So I'm going to make a little mark here at about 3/8. And then since this is sitting on the bunk here, this is flush with the bottom. So I'm going to hold my plate up here, have my pencil, and take a straight edge, put it up here flush with the bottom. That looks really nice. I'm on my 3/8, a little bit to the left. It's sitting really cool. Put an eye on it, that's pretty flush. I like it. I'm just going to take my pencil and mark the holes. 3/8, yeah. That's good. So I need to drill a 1/4 inch hole. I'm going to drill a 3/16 hole first. This is a pilot. Give me a little more control, I think. Okay, here we go. 3/16 hole. Got the mark. Look good. Very good. A little starter. Now the 12 degrees. I like it. Hold that pose. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and finish with our 1/4 inch hole. Very good. I have the holes drilled through the transom for the 1/4 20 by 2 inch truss head bolts that we're putting through the plate and through the transom. I'm going to use some 3M 4200, not the 5200, because it's just more of an adhesive than a sealant. This is a little more flexible and not quite as hard, and also as this is a fast drying, the 4200 is also fast drying. The 5200 typically is 72 hours, I believe, before you can use it. So I just did a quick circle around the bolts and a little bead around the perimeter, and I'm going to put some in the hole, the bolt holes, and I have some acetone here to wash that off on the other side. This is really what I want to seal here anyway. Make sure that we don't get any water into the transom wood. I'll load it up. That doesn't do it, nothing will. Now I got my 4 bolts, got my plate. I guess it would help if I had the 5 bolts I need. going to clean the threads off the inside here, put our nuts and washers on. Okay, boat builders, got the plates mounted to the transom with our 1/4 20 by 2-inch truss head bolts. It's through bolted through the transom, and I have the 1/4 inch nylon locking nuts on top of the washers, stainless steel. I used the 3M 4200 to seal the installation to make sure the water doesn't sneak around the bolts and into the hole here. My next step is to install the turnbuckles. I have the turnbuckles. I have my flathead bolts that I ground the head down a little bit to make them a little smaller diameter so they'll fit flusher into the bottom of the plate. They're not too bad. There's still a little bump, but pretty smooth, and still have plenty of Allen screw to tighten it with. And I also have my stringer washers that I countersunk to fit the taper of the flathead screw where it comes through the plate, because the plate's only 1/8 inch thick. So we're going to bolt this up, and then we're going to lay out where we're going to drill the holes in our transom. Now I've decided that we're going to go 90 degrees off the plate. We're not going to go straight here. We're going to go with the dead rise of the boat on an angle, so they'll be, one will be higher than the other, but they'll both be the same length. So I'm going to lay that out, and then we're going to bolt it up. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do to mount these turnbuckles is I put these kickers in here to make sure that the trim tab is flat with the bottom of the boat. When we built the boat, I kind of rounded the bottom edge here of the transom to kind of give it that nice look, and except for the dock damage here this is from Garwood's. I'm pretty proud of this. Garwood's Lake Tahoe Pier. Anyway, so we rounded the transom here, and we rounded the bottom as well. So when we mounted this, it kind of kicked it down a little bit. So I want to make sure that it's out of the water in a neutral position. So I've actually adjusted these turnbuckles so that I can pull it up as well. And while I'm holding it in position, I'm going to locate my holes. So now I'm going to install the turnbuckles. I'm going to use the M10 by, it looks like about 15-20 millimeter, I'm not sure. Somewhere in that ballpark. Going to use our countersunk 1/4 inch stringer washer. I'm going to put the little, I think I'm going to go with this number here up so they're consistent. I don't know if that makes a difference. You know, they have left hand and right hand threads on the turnbuckle. Kind of cool. I got a built-in wrench here. Got my Allen. Okay, good. Next, flathead bolt, washer, and again, I got the number to the top, just to be consistent. Okay, it's nice and tight. Hook to the left. So what I want is I want these turnbuckles to be perpendicular to the plate. So it looks like I need to move this one just slightly. Just slightly. I kind of like it. So once I establish this one, I can use my spacer to get the distance in between. Right up against that washer. Eyeballing it here. Right there. I like it. I'm going to mark this one with my pencil, but what I want to do is then there again I want to make sure that I'm keeping this plate pulled up and out of the water so I can adjust it down, because when I take these sticks out it's going to want to drop into the water. So I'm going to go carefully. And I'm going to go just a little bit higher. I'm going to pull, basically pull the turnbuckle up to where I feel like it's, sheet it just a bit higher. I've got a lot of adjustment down. I don't want to see a bunch of turnbuckle threads, but I'd rather be able to adjust it up. So I'm going to go with this one. I want to make sure I keep my screw gun parallel to the 12 degrees. Put it here on my mark. Line it up. It feels good to me there. And then this way, looks like I need to come out. Now I'm going with the, this is like .406, this drill bit here. The 10 millimeter I think is what, 397, .397. So this should be just about right. Give you a little bit of play. I think got my washer. I'm going to go ahead and dry fit this and then drill the other hole. Okay, we're good. I think it's pretty darn close. This might even tighten up a slight bit. All right, so next is the stick. So we'll do the same thing here. That little washer is just sitting there, so I'll put the stick in between. Stay. That's good. I got the eye where I want it. Now I'm going to move the washer. Okay, the eye's where I want it. Hold it. Move the washer accordingly. I want a little tension, so I'm going to go a little bit higher. That's pretty good. Pretty close. There's our hole. Check it there. So we're just going through 3/4 here. I have a fender washer. I think that's probably sufficient. Okay. So this one, they're about the same. This one actually has a little more tension. I'm going to leave the sticks in for now because I can adjust it up. I got a couple turns up, so I'm pretty comfortable with that. I'm going to go ahead and put some 4200 on the fittings that are going through the hull and tighten her down. I've got my 3M 4200. Just going to put a little in the hole. So I like to make sure I get this raw wood coated well, sealed off. So that's plenty there. I'm going to call it good. I might just put a little dab around the washer. Just because I love this stuff. That's nice. Nice. I see the 4200 oozing out. That should be a good seal. All right, nice and tight. Got the 4200. I'm squeezing out real nice, not too much, just enough. Make a good seal. Hopefully we can keep that water out of there. Now, I'm going to use the WD-40. I think it works pretty good. Not worried about it messing up the paint finish. Well, I got them installed, all tightened up, sealed up, ready to try them out. Got them not quite adjusted. I think we're gonna head for Buckskin Mountain, Arizona State Campground Tuesday, and we're gonna spend 3 nights there, and we're gonna test these plates out, test the performance. We're going to do a little GPS. We're going to use our tachometer, and we're going to test it first with the hydrofoil, and then we're going to remove it, and then we're going to start adjusting our plates. And we're going to try to get us I want 4 miles an hour more, because I want to have the fastest zip when we're at the gathering this next September in Tennessee. So I would take a look here at the bolts on the inside, where the eye bolts and where the plate is attached.